Chapter 5 Princess September. About the author. William Somerset Maugham, 25th January 1874 to 16 December 1965, was an English playwright, novelist, and short story writer. He was among the most popular writer of his era and reputedly the highest paid author during the 1930s. Introduction. Princess September was written by William Somerset Maugham. It is the story about a princess named September. She has 8 elder sisters who were named after months of the year. The king of Siam had a strange habit of giving gifts on his own birthday. So, he and his wife, the queen, had gifted a parrot in a golden cage to each of their 9 daughters. All the princesses were happy to receive their gifts, and they would spend an hour with their pet daily. All the parrots could say, "God save the king," and some could even say "Pretty Polly" in 7 different Oriental languages.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें।
Part 1. Princess September, like each one of her numerous sisters, receives the gift of a parrot in a golden cage on her father's birthday. The parrot dies, and by chance, a singing bird comes in its place. The princess shows off her pet to her sisters, who advise her to put it in a cage. The king and queen of Siam had many daughters, and the queen said that it confused her to have to remember so many names. Siam means now Thailand. One day the king decided to call them January, February, March, though of course in Siamese, till he came to the youngest, whom he called September. The king of Siam had a peculiar habit. Instead of receiving gifts on his birthday, he gave them. One year on his birthday, not having anything else handy, he gave each of his daughters a green parrot in a golden cage. Handy means immediately available. Princesses were very proud of their parrots, and they spent an hour every day in teaching them to talk. Presently, all the parrots could say, "God save the king," and some of them could say, "Pretty Polly," in no less than 7 Oriental languages. Oriental, of the East. The Orient means countries of the Far East. Its opposite is the Occident. The king and queen of Siam had 9 daughters. For the queen, it was confusing to remember so many names, so the king decided to call them by the names of the months. The youngest was named September.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें।
But one day, when Princess September went to say good morning to her parrot, she found it lying dead at the bottom of its golden cage. She burst into a flood of tears, and nothing that her maids of honor could say comforted her. Maids of honor means women attending the princess. She cried so much that the maids of honor, not knowing what to do, told the queen, and the queen said it was stuff and nonsense, and the child had better go to bed without any supper. Stuff and nonsense means utter foolishness. The maids of honor wanted to go to a party, so they put Princess September to bed as quickly as they could and left her by herself. And while she lay in her bed, crying, still even though she felt rather hungry, she saw a little bird hop into her room. Hop means jump. She wiped her tears and sat up. Then the little bird began to sing, and he sang a beautiful song, all about the lake in the king's garden, and the willow trees that looked at themselves in the still water, and the goldfish that glided in and out of the branches that were reflected in it. Willow means tree with narrow leaves. Glided means to move smoothly without noise or effort. When he finished, the princess was not crying anymore, and she quite forgot that she had had no supper. "That was a very nice song," she said. But Princess September found one morning her parrot dead. She wept and wept. She could not be comforted. The queen told the maidservant to put her to sleep without supper. The maids wanted to go to a party, so they put Princess September to bed as soon as possible. Thus the princess was left alone, crying in her bed. The princess saw a little bird come into her room. It began to sing. It sang about the king's garden, the goldfish, the willow tree, etc. The princess forgot about her supper.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें। ऐसे ही और एजुकेशनल वीडियोस देखने के लिए हमारे चैनल होम रिवाइज को